I mean, I know how to look into it
Right.
and get what the field of vision is. When I first started, I thought, how does anybody see anything?
Yes.
I mean, I
Yes.
know
Yeah.
I'm pointed right. I don't see it in there. Where is it?
Yep.
Well, I learned how to look into an eyepiece. So I
Yes.
don't have the problems I had in the beginning. And I have some very good eyepieces. I mean, no question about that. They do a much better job than the imager will ever do. I'm
Oh,
getting
of
enough.
course. Of
I'm
course.
getting enough
Right.
skill now that I can make adjustments and get things going. But I
Right.
have one funny thing. If Ert comes on, I'll show it to him. This particular device, it's a little DVR, and
Oh my gosh.
you can see how small it is by the size of my hands. I mean, I have
Yes.
fairly long hands, but this is a tiny thing, and it's
Wow.
designed to hook into your imager, and you can actually take movies of what you're seeing.
Oh wow.
However, I I'm one of these people that reads the manual. And man, I'll tell you, whoever wrote this manual, their first language was definitely not English. I
Okay.
know what it was. It was Japanese. But
Okay.
they're not new Japanese. The new Japanese are like Swedish people. I mean, they speak English like you and I do because they're raised with it as a second language. It is
Right.
not a foreign language. If
Right.
you were every other language other than English that I know is a foreign language because I learned it after I grew up
Yeah.
and my language centers were cemented in solid. But if you learn a second language when you're a child, it isn't foreign. It's just like I have a friend who had a German father and French mother. He grew
Okay.
up thinking, before he was reached the age of reason around 10, he grew up thinking that French is the way you speak to women and German is the way you speak to men.
Ah.
No kidding.
that
Are you
that's
serious?
very interesting. Right.
Yeah,
And then it
and
just
he
sort of
spoke English to his playmates, his peers.
okay.
I mean,
Right.
they wanted him to learn those languages, and he grew up with French and German, spoke
Sure.
both of them fluently.
Wow. That's fantastic.
But he remembers how he thought of it as a child.
Right.
That
It
French
dawned
is
on
the way
him.
you speak to your mom, German is the way you speak to your dad, and English
Right.
is the way you speak to your buddies.
Yeah. Hey,
Hey.
that's great. That's great. That's I mean, my command of one language is not very great. So yeah, I think it's extremely impressive, that others can do
Though
that.
the one language you know, if you have to have only one, the one to know is English. It is the
Yeah,
most difficult one to learn.
yeah,
It wasn't difficult for you or me because we grew up speaking it, but for a foreigner, and I've been told why, given 1,000 reasons why English is a very difficult language to learn to speak, or it's a little easier to learn to read it, but to learn to speak it, it's listen to our
oh yeah,
language.
it's crazy. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah,
What's in the road ahead, or what's in the road ahead?
yeah.
Those are two entirely different things, but in English they are. But to a foreigner's ear,
No, they sound exactly the same. Yeah,
yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Well, it's time
Well,
for.
it is way past time for. I was just showing a little bit of the pre-show here. I actually went live moments ago. So so
Oh,
so
oh
so
my
no,
goodness! That
but
means
that's a
everyone heard what I said. Oh, I can tell they did.
yes.
Look at that, you devils! And here I thought I was speaking in private.
Yeah. No, that just doesn't happen. So
There is no expectation of privacy here.
absolutely none. Absolutely none. Well, welcome everybody. I hope everybody's doing well out there. Everything's good here. The sun is currently setting. You can see the sunlight on me. It looks like it's going to be a pretty nice sunset. It is cloudy though here. We had a nice monsoon downpour here a couple hours ago. Cooled the place off. Actually made it chilly. It was probably, well, in the high 80s, and that just
Woo!
and humid, man. I am telling you, I am dripping. I am dripping, and it's like 26%.
Ooh.
So anyway, I definitely continue to be cloudy here, but it's sort of cloudy as expected. It's actually usually quite clear in the mornings. So you know, I guess if need be, I'll always be able to consider that. But at the moment, in terms of observations goes and collecting data and all that, I've got a ton. I've got a ton of it. I think I actually have pretty much enough to be able to finish up the project that I'm doing, looking at the brightness curves and positions of the 4 Galilean moons of Jupiter. Took a whole bunch of data back in 2014 with my old telescope, which I still have. It's a 10-inch Newtonian. Same camera as this one here, this guy. But of course, in the meantime, I switched over to this scope, this 8-inch Celestron Schmidt-Cassegrain. And I've got a little bit of data from this year as well. And it fills in things pretty well. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. I don't think that there's really any extreme need for me to get anything else. Anything more is a good bonus. So I'll take it. Don't think I necessarily need it. Anyway, so okay. Well,
I have a question before you get into. By the way, I did watch your last Astronomy Daily Live and saw what you were trying to do with the people.
Oh, good.
On the website.
Yes.
I'm up to speed on that. On the using your Smith-Cassegrain azimuth type thing here, would it track better? Now I don't, quite understand. It tracks, like mine tracks to a certain degree, but would it track better if you had it on one of those wedges to turn it into an equatorial mount?
Yeah, the advantage there is that if you turn it into the equatorial mount, then only one of those axes actually has to turn. It's just the left-right.
Yeah.
That follows the right ascension. So
that's right.
You're essentially cutting the complexity of the motion down by at least a factor of 2. It's probably even more than that.
So the only time one would bother with I have a equatorial attachment for my scope, because I told you I buy everything, so I have the equatorial attachment, which I'll probably never use. But you crank this baby on. I mean, it just adding more weight. As it is, I have to take this thing apart in order to move it. My big scope.
Right.
The equatorial mount, though, is. I was thinking about experimenting with that as far as tracking goes. One thing,
you'll definitely see some kind of an improvement.
And I've seen now something I never noticed before. I've read about it. It's when you're moving your scope one place or another with your buttons, like say I'm going to move a little to the right or a little to the left.
Right.
There can be a little bit of drift. When you stop the movement, it doesn't actually stop with a capital S. It eventually stops with a capital S.
Yeah.
A little bit of drift. That's one thing I saw very clearly when the stuff was projected on my imager screen.
Oh, cool.
I looked and I thought, wait a minute, I stopped this. Why is it moving? You know,
Right.
oh, that's that drift I read about. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, yeah, that is the thing you definitely have to take into account. There are some settings where you can tighten that up or loosen it up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I For some reason that exact term is has flown out of my head, but it has to do with the gearing.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not messing with mine. It's not bad enough for me to go screwing
yeah,
with
yeah,
it. But it's the first time I'd ever actually had a sense of what they were talking about. It wasn't enough to send I was looking at Jupiter and its moons. It wasn't enough to send my Jupiter and moons off the field of vision. It wasn't that great, actually, but at least it was. I could see when the scope stopped and there was a little, ooh, you know,
yeah,
it's still moving just slightly.
yeah.
Oh, you devil, that's what they're talking about.
Yep,
Well,
that's it.
anyway,
That's it. And
hello,
that,
Andy, and everybody out there.
yeah. Hey there, Andy. Nice
You
to see you
too,
in the
dear.
chat.
I
Tom.
missed you guys. I did, but I enjoyed those clear skies in my area there.
Yeah. So you looked at Jupiter. What else?
What I looked at, I have my little log here. I saw M8, a diffuse nebula. I'm sure it was M8. And I saw a globular cluster, NGC 6235. Yeah, that was a little tough to hone in on, but I got it. And the usual other stuff that's out there that I can see all the time, but I saw it a lot more clearly these last 3 nights. All the stars that are out and the double stars, I could split those up nicely. You know, it was good. I could actually see
Nice.
stuff.
Did you look at
Great change.
yeah, there's a binary star, Albireo. Did you look at that one?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I have a big list here. I hit just practically everything in the sky. I mean, it was out 3 or 4 hours every night because it took so long to set up and it's so rare that I get nights like this. I mean, it was just incredible out there because I don't live near a big city. I live in the country. So I can drive less than 10 miles and go to a place where it's pitch black dark. I mean,
yeah, nice.
It's darker than you could ever, but it takes some effort to do that.
Oh yeah.
It might not sound like a lot of effort to you guys, but when you're my age, it's a lot of effort.
No, it's you've got to take all that thing apart. You got to lug it into the car. You got to drive out there. You got to lug it all out. You got to put it all together. Then you go, right? Go. Then at the end of the night, you're tired, right? You're tired, maybe even a little cold, right? I mean,
oh yeah, I'm not much of a pansy about that weather.
And you've got to then take it all apart again, shove it in your car again, drive home.
Oh yeah.
And then 9-inch colas, hey, take it out of your car.
Take it up to the unit.
Put it somewhere. So right. So
I park my car indoors underground, and I am not but a stone's throw from an elevator, which dumps me out very close to where I actually live. So, as people come and go, I would have it easy. Hi, 9-inch. Haven't seen you for a while. Okay.
Yeah, glad to have 9-inch colas in the house. So, all right. Well, yeah.
So let's.
As of August 1st, Google Hangouts apparently is going away. Now, I'm going to continue doing this as long as it's available. So that's sort of what I've decided. I'm not going to just, blindly switch over to, just YouTube. but so as long as this is available, um, I'm going to continue it. But what I've decided, because I think this switchover is going to happen, maybe August 1st, maybe, I don't know. I think it's probably proper to come up with a way of still being able to do this live stream. And the most important thing is to have you sort of go um, with me on this sort of very, very casual and fun journey through something, some kind of astronomical something, and and so being able to share my screen, that has been really, really, really important and really, really nice to have. But that is no longer going to be possible. So up until yesterday, I was like, well, I really don't have a solution here at all. So maybe this live stream is going to stop for a while. Who knows? But then I came up with this thing where it's like, look, in terms of websites, why don't I just post a link to the chat, and then you can go there with me, and I will guide you through as well as I can. And at points along the way, I can post another link and all that, so you can keep caught up. I think it can work. It's just going to take you to be much more active, which is that necessarily.
And you will have to learn to talk about the site you're on. I have often in the past, this isn't entirely new to me, hangout or no hangout, I have often gone to the website that you were sharing, because I'm getting it a lot clearer than I'm getting it through, your sharing. And I've gone to the website, so I'm kind of used to doing that already.
Okay.
But what you'll have to learn when we're all doing it that way is be sure to talk about what you're doing on the site, so that
yes.
I can follow it.
Yes.
It isn't always, you sometimes zip back and forth. Oh, look at this, look at that.
I know.
When I'm looking at my own, if it wasn't for seeing it on the share, I couldn't figure out where you were. I'm sure you'll get that figured out. But it's certainly,
I think
it's certainly doable to do it that way. It's doable.
And I think that's why I'm giving myself 6 more days, at least, to sort of try it out, see how it is. When I'm at the end of that, I'll sort of evaluate, or we'll sort of evaluate and see how it works. I'm not going to be a master at this in 7 days. Absolutely no way.
Sure you
but at least those 7 days will give me some kind of a direction. Is this going to be easy? Is this going to be hard? Is it worth doing? So, and Nine Inch Colas, I know about Zoom, and I think that there's a way to simulcast on YouTube. I want to stay on YouTube. So going through another service, to YouTube, maybe that's a thing I can look into a little bit more. But I heard something about Zoom not offering YouTube compatibility or whatever. I'm not exactly sure what the terminology is. Some point in the future, that going away. So anyway, so I personally take these things in stride and don't get too, tense about it or worried about it or anything. And I'm really not. So this is what I'm going to do at the moment, and that will definitely change if there's any way to make it better. The one thing that is going to go away is the panel, which I'm not too happy about that. But if I have to give up one thing, okay, I guess I'll give up that one, to continue this, because I mean, I just want to continue this because it's fun. I like to share a passion, and yeah, keep this up. This is easy and fun. So Astro Live, Astrophotography channel. Hey, nice to have you back in the chat. Cheers. I've got the hydrogen hydroxide here. Grab your favorite consumable of choice. Cheers. Everyone is welcome here. Everyone is welcome here. 9-inch colas for sure. So, the way things are going, hopefully you're going to be doing really, really well. So, all right, cool. Cheers. So yeah, let's try this. What I wanted to do is I wanted to finish up looking at the rings moon node of the planetary data system. And so what I'm going to do is I'm still going to share my screen, but I really, really encourage you to try to follow along on your own browser, because that's sort of where we're going to go with this. So let me grab the link to where we're going to start, and I will post that over on the chat. So things that I can post in the chat that we all have access to, I'll put in the chat. Things that are like things on my machine, plots or screens or anything. I'll post those over to a new channel that I put over on my Discord server. It's called Live Stream Images, I think.
Wow.
And
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, and
Live
so that's
images.
Yeah, so that's where I'll put anything that you're not going to be able to see unless I post it.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
Yeah, so that's there now. So those are the two ways that you're going to be able to see this. And people watching this later are going to be able to follow along because they'll be able to follow the chat, and the link is in the chat. So there we go. So okay, well, I'm gonna share my screen, and I'm gonna go over to the rings moon node. And so the sharing of the screen, this is the part that apparently isn't going to be available. So, but I'm still going to do it now, just because I can, right? So okay, well, I have gone over to the ring moon systems node. This site says in the upper left, and then along the left-hand side, there's a bunch of options, right? There's search with Opus. There's browse data volumes, quick download, blah 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 blah. Image galleries. That sounds like an interesting one. So I'm thinking, why don't we click on the image galleries here, and see where we go from there. So let's see, NASA press release image galleries. So by planetary system, by mission plus target system. Cool. Okay. So, well, I don't know. Let's just, these are just supposedly rings and moons. So I don't know. Let's just go into Jupiter, I guess. So let's click
That's under
on,
the bi-targeting planetary system, right?
yeah,
That's Jupiter.
yeah,
So you're just taking the first one. All right.
yeah. Let's just look at the first one here.
Ooh,
And it looks like, a whole bunch of images there in the nice tabular form. So I'm sort of wondering, why don't we,
uh,
so, okay, this is supposed to be Jupiter. Okay, so there are a bunch of different Jupiter things here too. Let's just stick with this, I guess.
there's also a lot of non-Jupiter stuff here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm seeing. I'm seeing Neptune, it changes in the great dark spot. Neptune's dark spot, D2. Um, Gaspra, Deimos, and Phobos. Gaspra, isn't Gaspra a moon of Saturn? I don't remember. So, yeah, there's one here. Venus cloud patterns, a little ways down. So I'm sort of scrolling down this whole list here. Gasper, actually, Gasper is an asteroid. I remember that now. It was one of these spacecraft actually flew by it. So, wow. I think I'm going to go back. Let's go back one page to the press release image galleries again.
Okay.
And instead of choosing Jupiter, let's go down to um, Cassini at Jupiter. So down a little ways
Oh,
under the.
Astro spotted Triton's volcanic plumes. Thought that
Oh,
looked
cool.
interesting.
Oh, wow. Okay. There. Um, well, let's do this. Let's click on Cassini at Jupiter. Let's just sort of keep going with this. That's one thing that we're going to have to figure out is if somebody in the chat says, "Hey, I'd like to look at this," they're going to have to. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Have to post a link or something. Yeah, we're going to have to work on that. Okay, well, let's all click on Cassini at Jupiter. Okay, so I'm doing that right now.
Cassini at Jupiter. Now, the reason I'm chiming in here is I'm not looking at yours. I'm looking only at mine because that's what
Right.
we're going to have to do when we're
Yeah.
doing it. Now, first we went back to the NASA press release image galleries page.
Correct. And then we went down to the
Was this
mission.
under mission source, each sorted chronologically?
No, it's actually the next one.
Cassini at Jupiter. I see it.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay,
I
so
will click on it.
Cassini at Jupiter.
Okay, we got it.
And so there's all those. So why don't we look at the one that says Jupiter in blue, ultraviolet, and near infrared. Looks kind of interesting.
Jupiter in blue, ultraviolet, and near infrared. Okay, so we want to click on that.
Yeah, click on that, and then it looks right at the top of that article are the three images. I think if we click on that, okay, you'll sort of get the same resolution thing. So I'm going to go back, and I think I'm going to click on this thing that says full res JPEG. Oh, that looks really small. Huh. I guess that's it. I guess that's the largest view we get is that one.
Yeah.
So there's quite a bit of a caption there. Let's see. It doesn't say what wavelengths these are. It just says, blue, ultraviolet, and infrared, and that's it. Wow. Okay.
The red spot's supposed to be going away, right?
Well, the red spot is doing something.
Diminishing
Um,
in force.
yeah, it's don't really know. Don't really know. But it's kind of interesting though that it's uh, pretty bright in the infrared. You see that
Yeah.
it's a white spot there. So that's kind of interesting. The other interesting thing that I noticed in that infrared image is if you look at, there is sort of a band about maybe, I don't know, not quite halfway from the top.
Yeah.
It looks like it looks like it's got a bunch of um, well, like dark splotches, evenly spaced.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird looking. So I think when they're looking in the infrared, I think they're looking slightly deeper into the planet. I I, I believe so. They're looking at different stuff,
Mm.
and I think in this case, it's just slightly deeper. So, all right, well that's one. So let's go back one page back to the um, Jupiter at Cassini, or sorry, Cassini at Jupiter
Right.
um, gallery, um, and there's one that's called Red Spot Movie, but I don't know if that's going to. Well, why don't we click on that one? It says Red Spot Movie,
Okay.
and okay, well, that's not bad. Okay, so that's just showing a little. It's probably a little, like a GIF movie or something,
Yeah. There's
showing a little bit of the latitudinal um, section here, um, and you can see how, if you make the motion of the red spot stationary, you can see how everything else is moving relative to it, and that's a massively dynamic place. Pretty amazing. Um, I'm going to click on this GIF image and see if it makes it any larger. It doesn't look like it's going to, but I'm just going to click on that really quick. Oh, it does make it a little larger. So if you want to do exactly the same thing, I'm now looking at the enlarged GIF movie, and that's it. So, and wow, the red spot itself looks really weird looking. So yeah, there's something going on with the red spot. Don't know exactly what, but it's really weird looking. I mean, even there, it's weird looking. But this was taken with the Cassini spacecraft, I think back in like 2013, 2014, something like that. Quite a ways, quite a while ago. I don't remember exactly. I'm gonna keep an eye on the chat too. That's another thing that I definitely have to.
Yeah, you'll have to do that when we don't have somebody to scrape.
Yeah. No problem, Uncle Bill. We all have those kinds of things. But yeah, very dynamic place. Of course, this isn't a lot of images here. This is probably, I don't know, maybe 10, maybe. But yeah, showing quite an amazing place. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the image gallery with the Cassini at Jupiter gallery here. And I'm just going to keep scrolling down a little bit, scrolling down. So here's one that's called A New Year for Jupiter and Io. Can you find that one. It's, I don't know, about a little more than halfway down on this page. And at least on my page, it's over on the right. But it might be different for you. It's called A New Year for Jupiter and Io. So I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to click on the image. And oh, okay, so yeah, that's a nice full color image of Io in the foreground, sort of half Io, half lit, half dark, and just passing sort of over the terminator on Jupiter. So yeah, that's a pretty amazing shot there. Now, the one thing that I'm going to do right now is I'm going to grab this image and I'm going to save it. And I'm going to do a little processing. I'm just going to change the brightness and the contrast a little bit. 0729. So I'm just going to save it like that. Now I know that technically you're not going to be able to see this, but it's all I'm going to do is go into GNU plot really quick and change it up a little bit, and then I'm going to post it over on the Discord. See if I can do anything. Just to enhance Jupiter a little bit is what I was trying to do, but yeah, I'm not. I'm running through some automatic settings here. Yeah, I'm not too happy with that. Yeah. Let's see if I can play with this brightness and contrast at all. Yeah, not really. That's kind of a tough image because it's so black on one side and so light on the other. Makes for some pretty complicated messing around there. So, okay, nothing really more to see there. So let's go back. So back to the small image, and then I'm going to go back to the image gallery again. And we'll keep scrolling down here. I'm going to check the chat, make sure that, okay, Cassini went by Jupiter 2001-ish. Okay. Don't exactly remember the dates. So here's one, Jupiter Polar Winds movie blow up. Actually, why don't we look at the Jupiter Polar Winds movie, just that one. So that's just a few down from where we were. Let's see if that decides to load. Okay, it's not. All right, well, so I've clicked on the little image just to show the little movie and stuff, and yeah, it's.
Which movie are you talking about? Jupiter. What was the name of that again?
It's called the Jupiter Polar Winds movie.
Okay, got it.
And then if you click on the image, you get a pretty terrible looking pixelated movie there. So
great. Yeah, it is.
It's, and I'm not sure if this is as good as they got, or if this is just, you know, a severely de-resolutioned image. Not sure, but so I've gone back to the gallery, why don't we look at the Jupiter Polar Winds movie Blow Up? See if that looks any better. Doesn't look like it's going to look any better. No.
Still pixelated.
Yeah. So maybe that's as good as they got, though, right? You know, I mean, this was Cassini that was, you know, just flying by Jupiter. It really wasn't made, you know, to observe Jupiter in any way whatsoever. So yeah, it was lucky enough to do that. Okay, well, let's go back to the press release image galleries, and let's do let's dive into Cassini at Saturn. So of course that was Cassini's destination, and it was there for a long time, like 20 years or something. Quite a long time. So okay, I have clicked on that. I'm on the image gallery, and first thing I see is the actual launch. So very cool. Yep, that's showing the launch. I'm going to look at the second one. It looks like these are all named exactly the same. So I'm going to look at the second one that looks like a long exposure of the launch. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click
launch of Cassini orbiter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is just showing a long exposure, showing, you know, the whole path up to a certain extent. So yeah, there it goes. Sweet. Okay, I'm going to go back to the image gallery because there is probably a heck of a lot to see here.
Actually, no offense to your transmission, but I kind of like this better than looking at your screen sharing.
Yeah, you know,
it's clearer to me.
Yes. You know, that is another great advantage, isn't it? So, yeah, I'm all for it.
I mean, when I compare side by side what you're sharing with what I'm seeing in my tab, you know, my own.
Right.
It's much better.
Oh, of course.
Much higher quality.
Of course. Yeah,
I like that part.
Good. All right, let's we should definitely take a look at the whole Saturn. So there's one that says the 4 ways to see Saturn. It's 4 ways to see Saturn. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to post a link to that over in the chat, just so if somebody's gotten lost, you can pick up exactly where I am. So there, I've posted it on the chat, and now I'm going to click on the image itself. So there we go. Probably, you know, we should go back and take a look and see what these 4 different things are. So I'm going to go back one. Sorry. A montage of Cassini images taken in 4 different regions of the spectrum. Okay, so once again, they are looking at it at different wavelengths of light. This time they actually tell us. So if you look in the caption, you can see that the upper left is the ultraviolet at 298 nanometers. Upper right is blue. That's very blue. That's violet, really, at 440 nanometers. Lower left is 727 nanometers, which is, yeah, like a deep orange, almost red. And then the lower right is the infrared one at 930 nanometers. So that's what we've got. So I'm going back to the image now, and I'm looking at the upper left one, and that is the ultraviolet one. And then the one on the right, the upper right, is the blue one, they call it. Then the lower left is the red one. And then the lower right is the infrared one. So very cool. They were talking about these slivers of light. You see, there's a little bright sliver of light above the rings in the ultraviolet one and the blue one, and even in the infrared one, there's a little bit one there. So yeah, don't know exactly what that is. We can go back and look, but yeah, pretty good shot. You're seeing, that big huge dark gap in the rings. That of course is the Cassini division, but there's a bunch of other ones too, as you can see there. So yeah, some pretty nice, nice, clear, sharp shots there.
Master's publishing some stuff on
Page Master, good, thank you.
On
over on the Discord.
On Discord under papers about
okay, good.
Cassini press kit stuff.
Oh, good, good. Thank you, Page Master, to do that. All right, so I'm going to go back to the gallery again. This is the Cassini at Saturn gallery. Here, I'll post a link to that over in the chat too, so you know exactly where I am. And let's come down here and see what else is going on here. Let's see, there's one that's called Battered Moon. Battered Moon. I'm going to click on that one. And let's see, it looks like it's the moon Phoebe. Shows breathtaking details. So, okay, yeah, it's just two views of Phoebe. One from a little bit further away and one closer, of course, as it approaches the system. Okay, so I'm going to click on that image. So I'm just seeing the full resolution images of Phoebe. Now there's the smaller one on the left and the larger one on the right. And yeah, doesn't look like Ryugu or Bennu at all. These are these look pretty. I guess you'd call them pretty solid. Got lots of craters, large and small. Mountains, I guess. I don't know, if you call them mountains or not, but lots of craters. Lots of craters, pot-marked, I think is what they called it in the description. So, yep, that's Phoebe, one of the many, many moons of Saturn. How many moons of Saturn are we up to now? In the 80s? Something like that. There are quite a few. All right, so I'm going to go back to the gallery again. And let's, yeah, don't want to get too hung up with this. Let's go, so way at the top of the gallery, there's what's called a Saturn page 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, da, 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 da. Let's go to page 20. Let's go to page 20. So gallery number 20, I guess. The first one I see on that page is called Tethys Polar Maps, February 2010. So I hope that's the same place. Maybe I can copy that link over here too. Topaz Gigapixel AI. Haven't heard of that one. So hopefully that is the one that you are looking at as well. Well, why don't we look at Mimas? There's an image a little ways down. It says flying by the Death Star moon. See that one? I'm going to click on that one. And this is, of course, Mimas. It's got that huge, supposedly, impact crater. Um, Unusually large, and it looks a lot like, the Death Star, right? Sort of a crater-riddled Death Star with that big, huge thing there. So let's click on the actual image. It looks like it's like 2,000 pixels on the side, so that's nice and big. Yeah. So there's Mimas in all of its glory. Huge crater there. Lots of little ones too. So yeah, lots of interesting things here. Kind of hard to point out things without you actually really looking at it. But I'll just have you take a look at it. There's another uh, relatively large crater at around 8 o'clock on the edge there. That looks pretty much as deep as that big one, maybe even
Oh.
deeper. So yeah, this moon apparently has seen lots of action.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the gallery, and then I'm going to go. Let's see. I'm going to go over to the left-hand column, and I'm going to go over to the section that says Ring Moon Systems, and let's go to Uranus. So I'm going to click on Uranus. I'm not quite sure what this is going to do here. So, okay, I've come to a page that says the Uranus system, links to Ring Moon Systems node resources, press release image galleries, images from Voyager. Of course, images from Voyager, pretty much everything that we have. We do have HST images, but that is sort of a different. Well, I mean, it's not exactly. Well, I mean, it's a spacecraft. It's just different kind, I guess. Why don't we look at the images from Voyager? So under press release image galleries, the first thing there says images from Voyager. Let's click on the word Voyager. And of course, it's just another image gallery. And I remember this flyby. This happened in, 1989, I believe. So I was already at the University of Arizona. I was already into astronomy, doing my thing. And I was absolutely astonished by the images of the moon Miranda. Let's look at this first one. It's called Miranda's Icy Face, and it's just an absolutely stunning moon. So I'm going to click on the image there. Looks like it's pretty small, so not going to see much. But of course, one does have the capability to zoom in. What I do is a Control Plus, and that zooms in on the browser. It uses the browser to zoom in a little bit. So you zoom in a little bit, you can see a little bit more of the details, and it's just an incredibly diverse landscape, including this thing right in the middle. Well, lower middle, it looks like a white L, and they call that the chevron. It's a chevron shape.
Oh, that's
thing,
cool. I never knew you could do that. I'm doing that. It's great.
Oh,
Aha!
Yeah, that's how it's done. So, and then to zoom back out, it's just a control minus,
Yeah,
and
well,
you
I figured that out.
zoom back out.
I
So, all
got
right,
that.
I'm going to go back to the image gallery for the Voyager Uranus press releases.
Okay.
And let's scroll down here a little bit. Got some images of some of the rings. Here's some more of the moons. Um, let's look at one. It's almost at the bottom of this first page. It's called Rings of Uranus. It's almost at the bottom.
See it. Here.
I'll post a link to that in the chat, just so y'all can try to keep up. So yeah, Uranus's rings are very, very thin, very, very faint. And I don't think that they are directly observable from the Earth. I don't know if HST can see these. I guess, yeah, I guess you must be able to see them, but they're very, very faint. So I'm going to click on the actual image that so we can sort of see. And you know, these rings look all pretty similar except for the middle one. You see how that one sort of spread out? So kind of weird. Don't know what's going on there, but could be some kind of interaction with a moon, like a shepherding moon, maybe. You know, it's hard to tell. Okay, I'm going to go back to the gallery again, and I'm going to go up to the top, and let's click on, well, let's click on Miranda. Way up at the top there. Okay, so these are all the press release images of Miranda. So not too many of them. Expecting a few more, but I think there are more. We're just not maybe exactly in the right place. So, okay. Sort of looking around on the rest of the page over on the left, see if there's anything particularly interesting over there. Oh, so is that true, Uncle Bill? I did not know that. Uncle Bill, you're great. Yeah.
Uncle Bill reads the instructions that come with the browser. We didn't.
He probably does.
Yeah,
He probably does. Yeah. All right. Well, cool. So, you know, this is a great site. It's there are lots of places to go. This is just you know, we were looking at the press release images, of which there aren't going to be as many as the actual data, but that's all right. All right. Well, great. You know what? It's coming up to the top of the hour, and I think that it's about time to get on out of here for now. So I'm going to stop sharing for what it's worth. I think that sort of works out okay. And like you say, Atta, I think there are some advantages there too. So
I mean, it's a clearer. Like I said, I just think it's clearer.
I just have to be able to, you know, very, very, very clearly describe exactly where I'm going. You know, when I enter data in some kind of search, I've got to, you know, that's got to be exact. Everything else, but everything can be dealt with. And okay, it's a little bit more work on my part. So what? That's all right. That's not
Yeah. So what?
that's not a huge amount. And you know, instead of me taking you all on my boat, you just take your own boat. It's great. So yeah, I think that is going to work out. So this is day number 2. I'm sort of liking this, but you know, we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 left. So you know, this might just be a honeymoon period, where it's like, ooh, you know, this is very exciting and new, and it, you know, let's see what happens on day 7, right? That's when it all comes down. So, all right, everybody. Ata just left us. Thanks, Ata. She's been swooped up, and yeah, I'm getting the call too. So I think I'm going to get on out of here to get back up to the mothership where I can get some stuff done. Right. So okay, everybody, take care. Have a great evening. A great day. I'm going to check the chat one more time. Yeah, I think I'm out of here too. So peace, cheers, and all that. Live long and prosper. Be back tomorrow doing more astronomy. Don't exactly know what. Usually don't have any plans. So we'll see. It will be astronomical, space, science, those kinds of things. That's what this live stream is all about. But this live stream does not answer questions. It actually questions answers. That's exactly what this does. So if you're here to find out the answers to things, come to the wrong place. Now, I'll talk about, you know, our current understandings of things, but whether that's right or completely wrong, I think that's completely up in the air. So you know, we think that we're pretty sure about things, but we've always thought that we're pretty sure about things, and look how wrong we've been so far. so you know, remain skeptical and not cynical. Cynical is a completely different thing. I'm talking about skepticism, where you know, you look at everything with a very discerning eye, and it's like, what is this all about? So that's what this live stream is about. It questions answers. That's exactly what it does. So, all right, everybody, more of that tomorrow. I'm here pretty much every single day, 2 hours UTC. Every single day, you'll have to adjust for your time zone. I'm always on Mountain Standard Time, so it's always 7 hours behind UTC. So it's 3:03 UTC, but for me, it's actually 8:03 p.m. So it's at the end of my day here, just relaxing, chilling with our consumable of choice. So cheers. I will see you all in one Earth spin. Hold on to your hats. It's a crazy ride, but it's really, really smooth, and a pretty good chance that it will happen. So, all right, everybody, take care. I will see you next time. See you later. Bye.